Thank you for joining us today on CN Live. My name is Colion, and I'm an ammosexual. Another guy who might need a 12-step program for guns is Shane Coley. He's a captain of Team Glock, and he joins us now live. What's going on, man?
Not a whole lot, man. How's everything going for you guys?
Things are good. Things are good. No major complaints, but you know, up and down, ebb and flow. Take the good with the bad. All of the cliche statements that I usually say. But
Yeah,
no,
I hear that.
but things are good. Things are good.
Good.
So talk to me about Team Glock. What's actually like what's involved in being on Team Glock?
Well, for the most part, you know, we travel the world. We compete all over the world in national, international, regional competitions. We compete in IDPA, USPSA, IPSC, Still Challenge. So we try to get the brands out there as much as possible, promote the brand in a positive light, be positive brand ambassadors. We also do as much instructing as we can for any LEO law enforcement units that we can, any military units that we can get to. Just make appearance at events, just being positive brand ambassadors, and you know, promoting the brand as much as we can, and showing how awesome Glock is.
Hey, I'm mad at it. So now with all the different shooting styles that you guys shoot, how do you vary the training up to prepare for each one, and then how far in advance do you usually know what type of competition you're going to be shooting?
Well, usually each one of us have kind of our preference and what competition that we want to compete in. I'm mostly a pistol guy, and I do some Still Challenge and IDPA stuff. Usually, depending on what match it is that we're going to, it's a couple of months in advance that I'll start building out a training plan.
Okay.
Any other teammates that I have, if they have any questions or have any concerns about, you know, one of the upcoming matches, then I'll help them build a training plan. And then once or twice a year, we do training camps where we'll go to a remote location and spend anywhere from 10 to 15 days all shooting together. Just nothing but training. No other work involved. No laptops, no cell phones. Just strictly training.
Man, so I mean, being captain of Team Glock, and then me knowing personally your teammates, I feel for you. Simply because, no, I'm joking. No, I love Tori and I love Michelle. So how is it working with those two gals in terms of just kind of your daily interactions, and how much time do you guys actually end up spending together as a result?
Well, as you can imagine, I get ganged up on a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Two girls and just me. They like to gang up on me and kind of throw a couple jabs here and there. But
well, Michelle is the ultimate troller.
Who's that? Michelle?
Michelle's the ultimate troller. People don't realize that. She is a grade A class 1 troller.
She is.
Yeah.
She's really good at it. She's very witty. Very witty. But work with the girls is it's really awesome. They're very, very, very great people to be on the team with. Over the years, Michelle has become one of my better friends. So it's actually awesome to get to travel around with them as much as we can. Usually we meet at whatever competition or event that we're going to be at. So we go a couple of months without seeing each other, and then we all get together, and it's just kind of like a good old family reunion.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So now with the traveling, is it a ton of traveling, and then in terms of the traveling, is it like year round, or is it like little clumps of just travel sessions?
It actually depends. It depends on the year. Like last year, I was gone for I think 32 weekends, but it would be like gone a weekend, home for a couple weeks, and then gone like 3 weeks straight, then home a week or two, then maybe gone for a weekend. It depends on the season, how USPSA or whatever organization lumps their matches together, and what events Glock has us working.
Gotcha.
So it varies year to year.
So now so you're a full-time competition shooter?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm a full-time employee of Glock.
Glock. Gotcha. Okay. So speaking of which, what's been going on at Glock? You know, Glock has a notorious reputation for being Glock, and you know, I mean, they're at the top of the pile. So what's been going on there?
Well, as you know, NRA is in Atlanta this year, so we've just been preparing for that.
You're right.
That's something that we're really excited for, kind of being in our home turf. So that's one of the big things that's going on right now. Obviously, we've always got stuff up our sleeve that, you know, it's going to be big whenever it comes out, just because it's Glock. But
so you know, should we be expecting a big announcement at NRA annual conventions?
Oh, I'll let you guys wonder.
You're going to do that to me, huh? I do recall. I remember back when before the Glock 43 came out. And I remember I was harassing Glock on Twitter. And I was like, come out with a single stack 9mm already. And then I would constantly keep tweeting them. They would ignore me all the time. They still do. But, and then I remember when they finally released it, I was like, thank you. Thank you. But
well, you know, we have to stay on the top as much as we can. So
yeah. So with that being said, what are some of your favorite Glocks?
Well, it depends. For competition or like just everyday carry stuff.
Let's start with competition, and then we'll move on to the more.
Okay, so for competition, my favorite gun is going to be the Glock 34.
Okay.
It's our long slide. It's got the 5.5-inch barrel. The recoil is incredibly soft. The gun shoots incredibly accurate. It's the one I compete with the most. It's the one I've won the most championships with. The Glock 35, which is the 40, is probably my second favorite competition gun. But I don't shoot 40 as much as I do the 9 anymore.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've always the 34 is very interesting. I remember when I first saw the 34, I didn't care for it very much, simply because I was like, the slide is way too long. I don't see what the benefit is until I shot it, and then you really start to understand how much of a difference that longer slide makes in the character and the way the gun shoots. And then I don't have very much experience. You said the other one was what, the 35? Yeah. I didn't have very much experience with the 35. I don't have very much experience at all with any Glocks chambered in 40 except for the 22.
Yep.
Yeah. So I had 22 for a good period of time. I think it was the RTF 2.
Yeah. The 22 is a very common duty gun.
Yeah, absolutely. Just quick question: as far as the RTF frames, are they still in production, or are they completely ceased doing that?
I'm actually not 100% sure on that.
Yeah. Those used to be my favorite. Now they do tear up your shirts a little bit because they are designed to be a duty gun, so to speak. Not really designed for concealed carry, but I love them, honestly. So now, in terms of concealed carry, what are your preferences tend to lie?
I actually really like the Glock 19 for my everyday gun. The 43, I do love how small the 43 is and how easily it's concealed.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit too small for my hand. I have big hands.
Gotcha.
So the 19 is still small enough that I can conceal it comfortably, but it's also got enough real estate on the grip that I can comfortably grip the gun as well and still have a lot of control under recoil.
Okay. So now, if you were just going to pick a Glock to go to the range just for the sheer pleasure of just shooting it, not competition, not self-defense, concealed carry, none of that, just sheerly just the fun of shooting it, what Glock would that be?
I think it's going to be a big toss-up between a 19 or a 17.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, 19 is one of my favorite guns to shoot. I love the size of it. I love the way the gun recoils. I love everything about the gun, but the 17 is also a phenomenal gun to shoot. I think the 19 will probably win that battle.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. I know for me, it would have to be the Glock 30.
The 30?
Yeah. I think people underestimate how soft that thing shoots. And not just, and like I have a Glock 30S. I got the 30S thinking it was going to shoot exactly the same as a Glock 30, and it shoots really well. It just, there's something about the Glock 30. It just shoots so phenomenally soft. Like it's just a soft shooting 45. Granted, it's really big, can be maybe a little bit too cumbersome for some people, but just the sheer pleasure of shooting it. I don't know what it is because I also have a 21, and it's still in that is a different shooting dynamic. So I definitely have to say that mine would be the Glock 30, and then I shot the 36 last year for the first time, and I was actually incredibly surprised by how soft it shot. You know, it's funny you mentioned the 36. I was just talking about the 36 yesterday, and for me, I remember I used to carry the 36 for a while. I used to carry it with the clip draw.
Yep.
And it was one of the first carry guns that I had, and I remember that was, you know, for a carry gun, and especially chambered in 45, and considering how slim it was, I was just like, you know, this is amazing, you know. And you know, things have definitely changed over time now. You know, guns are getting a lot smaller and with bigger calibers and smaller packages. Right. But I definitely will say the Glock 36 will always hold a special place in my heart. There's a review floating around somewhere about the Glock 36 that I absolutely love. And so yeah, that gun is definitely something that most people tend to overlook. Now,
yeah, it is.
Is there a particular Glock that you don't care for, or let's say is it which Glock do you like the least? So I don't get you.
Man, I love all of them.
Really?
I love all of
Oh,
them.
come on.
I love all of them.
Okay. All right. I guess I'll let you make it with that. I'm trying to think if there was a particular gun Glock that I don't really care for in terms of. Let's see. Okay, maybe you do have a point because nothing is jumping out at me in terms of where I'm like. I lie. The 27.
The 27.
27. Yep. And the reason I don't care for the 27 with respect to all of the other Glocks is just because of the sheer fact, just the recoil. And it's really snappy, smaller
package. The 40 it's a high pressure round anyway.
Yeah. So I will say if I had to pick a Glock that I like the least, it'll be the 26. I did find one. I remember I did a video on it. I found a Glock 27, and it had an internal guide rod laser in it. I remember I thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Really?
Yeah. It was a long time ago. Like we were talking several years ago. And And I shot it. And I bought it, and I loved it from that fact until I started shooting it more consistently. And I went from then I was like, okay, I'm going to 26, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
26 is a good one too. I love that one.
Oh yeah, that's the gun I tend to carry the most. That's the gun I carried the most until the 43 came out.
Yep.
Once the 43 came out, that's kind of taken the place of the 26's position. I carry a lot of different guns, and I know that's blasphemy to a lot of people. And they're like, "Oh, you got, should you sing?" I'm like, I can't always.
Everyone's got their preference.
Yeah, it just in the real, and in a vacuum that makes sense. In the real world, you're kind of forced to kind of adjust accordingly, especially when somebody. Right. And I care about concealing, like being really concealed. So for me, that's going to be a bigger issue than some people. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about how you actually got started in shooting, and then go from there.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sir.